move the ball and make their defense move with how much they switch. You had a season-high 40 assists. Do you feel like you pretty much stuck to that blueprint tonight?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, the ball was moving, and you have to do that against this team. They're too good with their switches and just staying in front of dribblers, and so you got to attack them with the pass and with cutting. And I thought we did a good job of that.
62 paint points, and I say there's only 43 attempted threes. I mean, was that concerted to get to the rim more tonight?
It wasn't something we, put on the board or anything, but when you move the ball and you cut, you're going to get some openings, especially with the type of pressure they put on the perimeter. They're not a huge shot blocking team. They're more of a steals team, a forced turnover team. But if you can execute and get the ball into the paint, there's openings in there. So, I liked the way our guys attacked.
What did you think of Jonathan Kuminga going 4 for 4 on threes in the third quarter? And how much do you want that shot to be a part of his toolbox? Yeah,
that corner three is a big shot for him. I think it's it's an effective weapon for him. With his speed and explosiveness, we know he can get to the rim and score. But if he can, space the court and hit that corner three, that's a big deal. And I thought that was a big swing in the game when he made those 3 or 4 in a row.
What did you get from Dante tonight, Steve?
Dante was fantastic again. He's had such a great stretch now over the last 6-8 weeks. He just competes. He's just a guard. He's not a point guard, not a two guard. He's just a basketball player. He had 11 assists, moved the ball beautifully, competes defensively. We put him on Van Vliet after Van Vliet got off to the hot start. And Dante's just been amazing for us.
Steve, JaMychal Green continues to play meaningful minutes. Has he become the first big man off the bench?
Well, every game's different, but JaMychal has given us good minutes now the last few games, and we know what he is. He's been in the league for a long time. He's very reliable. We like the fact that he can step out and make a three. That's, as a five-man, that's a valuable weapon in this league right now. But he's also got some physicality to him. He rebounds. He gives us a good kind of toughness on the inside. So, JaMychal's earning his minutes.
Hey, Coach, after the Celtics and the Nets game, I asked you about the late game offense. You had some struggles, so I don't want to be accused of being too negative. You guys have scored well the last 2 games. What's been the key to turning that around these last 2 games?
It feels like we took better care of the ball tonight. And when Steph plays like that, the whole game opens up, the whole floor opens up. He was brilliant. He looked like he had his pop back, getting by people, getting into the paint, and then moving it on from there. I mean, he had 11 assists, but he had a lot of plays too where he just pulled the defense in and then kicked the ball to someone else, and we were able to find open looks from there. So, Steph is always the key for us, and when he's playing at a high level like that, it makes the game a lot easier for everyone.
Hey, Steve. So with Wiggins out for the game and Looney, 4 fouls before halftime, how did you talk to your team about that? Like, how did they change their physicality and mentality going into that second half?
Well, we just, changed the starting lineup and then changed the rotations accordingly. But, we're used to this. I mean, there's injuries all the time, so there's not really much of a message or anything. It's just, here's the plan and let's go.
You said you thought Steph looked like he had his pop back. Is that from pre-injury or just, from the last few games?
Just from the road trip. I didn't think he was as sharp as he usually is on that trip. I think just getting home, being home all week, getting some rest, sleeping in his own bed, all that, I think was helpful. And he looked really fast out there and under control and made good decisions too.
Steve, with Kevon Looney in foul trouble, and as you cycle through a few players at the 5, how come James Wiseman wasn't a part of that cycle?
We just decided to go with JaMychal. We thought about going with Wise, but JaMychal's been playing well the last few games, and so we gave him those minutes. But James could find himself out there next game. It's just day to day, and he's just got to stay ready, which he will.
Steve, Jonathan's really confident in his ability to pretty much do anything on the floor. Do you feel like he has a chance to be a special two-way player in this league, kind of all-around guy?
Yeah, I mean, he's got the physical ability to be a hell of a two-way player. I mean, he can guard 1 through 4, and with his ability to score around the basket. You saw the three-point shots tonight, so that's why we drafted him. He's an exciting prospect, and he's getting better and better.
Hey, Coach. So circling back on Dante and his career-high 11 assists tonight, he's been, in my opinion, the Swiss Army knife of your guys' team this year, and arguably in comparison to the Gary Payton II role from last year. And so how important is it for him to be able to make the big shot when he needs to make it and also find the open man like he did tonight? Yeah,
Dante's played a big role for us this year. You're right, he has kind of taken on Gary's role from a year ago, being our defensive guard who's coming in to guard the best guy and play with a lot of energy. He's different from Gary because he's more of a ball handler and a playmaker. Gary played more like a finishing foreman around the basket, but Dante has just found a way to fit right in. I think he played for a great college program at Villanova, and great coach with Jay Wright. So there's an awareness of how we play, with the ball movement and the flow and the cutting, and he fits right into our group.